Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. We're going to talk about makeup and hair and Sephora things. It is the the Sunday after the Sephora sale has started. I already placed one order. I'm going to place a second order and then cross my fingers that I don't feel the need to place a third and a fourth like I usually do. I know that's crazy. So we're in my bathroom. I have washed my coif and it's time to dry this thing off. I wanted to show you all, I mentioned the Dyson Airwrap in the Sephora recommendations video. I'm going to use that and I want to show you this little contraption that I have to hold all of the things, the attachments that come with it. So it looks like this. By the way, if you don't have these kinds of carousels for your products and you're a product junkie like me, you need these in your life. These are on Amazon. They're not dirty, but you know how sometimes plastic will have these weird dark marks on them. But anyway, I have all of my face-ish products up here. And then down here are all of my bath and sunscreeny kinds of products, and then also my hair products. But anyway, and that helps me know what I have and access it quickly. Over here is this contraption. By the way, I have everything in baskets because I am neurotic. You don't need to see all those products. Those are personal products. But that's what the contraption thing looks like. And I keep all of the attachments. Now, this thing is on Amazon and it's actually designed to plug into your wall. Not plug in. You can hang it on your wall. I was not successful in finding the nail holes and didn't want to bother my husband for it because he was busy on the day that I destroyed the wall trying to find the nail holes. But anyway, for those of you that are considering the Dyson Airwrap and you're just not sure where to hold all of those things, it comes in a train case that you can keep it in, but I need to access them quicker. I don't like taking the train case out and unfolding it and looking through the compartments. I just want it all here. So let's get to hair drying and then we'll talk about Sephora products. I do not have the most sophisticated hair routine, but I do have some things that I do over and over again because they work for me, at least right now. Never mind all of the clothing hanging on hooks in my closet and all of those things. On days that I'm going to film like today, I want some volume because my hair can be pretty flat. So I'm going to go in today with this thing called Guts. Did I do that upside down? Guts 10 by Redken. And I just put it along my roots to give my hair a little bit of zhuzh up when I go to blow dry it. So let's do that first. And this product, you really want to just apply fairly consistently, but not too heavily, right? Just a nice little spritz along your roots, and you want to work it in. This stuff can get sticky quickly, so you want to work quickly. If you have, my hair it can be curly, if I let it dry, it would be curly wavy. I forget the number, I think it's 2C. My hair is 2C, curls and waves together, but it's fairly thin in nature. So this gives a little bit of volume and a little bit of lift to the root area. There's a more systematic way to do it, but I really just stick it in the roots and then just kind of work it in like that. That also helps to roughen up the cuticles so that they have a little bit more volume when you go to blow dry them. The key to using the Dyson Airwrap is that you want your hair to be at maybe 80-ish%, somewhere between 60 to 70 to 80% wetness. You want it to have dried a little bit, or maybe it's the other way around. Anyway, you want it to dry some. You don't want it to be completely dry. You want your hair to be damp, not wet and not dry. So then next I will typically put something in on these shafts of my hair to thicken those up as well, because I have fairly thin strands of hair. So today I'm gonna use an old favorite today from Aveda called Famoliant. It's a styling foam. It adds shine and weightless volume to fine or medium hair. So you don't need a whole lot of this stuff. I had a self-tanning or a spray tan disaster and I look like I got something wrong with my skin. I'm all right, I promise. And this stuff, you want to just put through the shafts of your hair and then either comb or brush it through so that it's nicely distributed and it adds a little bit of volume. You can put more in, of course. The more stuff you put on your hair, the more products you put in your hair, of course, the more it gets weighed down. So you want to put nice light layers of whatever it is that you want to use in your hair without burdening your hair with weight if you have fine hair like mine. One thing I forgot to do before I put in these products is to put some kind of leave-in conditioner or hair milk on. So I'm going to skip this for today. Usually I would do that right after I come out of the shower to lock in the conditioning. So anyway, let's keep going. I have another video that I will link down below about using the Airwrap It's a really particular system. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. I like the long barrels because I have longer hair, so I actually purchased special barrels to use with this. And long story short, the trick is to make sure that the arrows are pointing away from you, and it's easy to do that when you look in the mirror. And to grab smaller sections of hair, let them link on, like so. And make sure you're helping to tighten it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry my hair. I'm not gonna make you watch that, and then we'll come back and talk. Okay, so I have used the Dyson Airwrap to wrap my hair. It's in curls. Normally I would, if I were being really meticulous, I would keep the curl up and stick a pin in it and just leave it there for 30 minutes to sort of continue to get cooled down, because the cooling down locks in the curl. It is mostly dry. I admit that I rushed through it, so there are some parts that maybe aren't quite as dry as they should be. So with that, we're just gonna let the curls do their thing, but I do need to put them back, and I'm going to use these clips that don't have any teeth in them so that it doesn't snag on the curl. And we're just gonna do one of these numbers to clip things back. And I'll start off with sharing my first order from the Sephora sale, and then do makeup and tell you what else I'm hoping to get in my second order. And let's hope I do not get foundation all up in my hair, which I probably will because I don't have a headband on. And I do have my Invisalign on, just as a reminder in case I sound a little bit weird. All right, so I was really ambitious in thinking that my first order would be my only order. I do this to myself every time the sale comes around. I'm like, I'm just gonna place one order and that's it, and it's gonna be only for the things that I really want and think that I need but don't have yet. So here's what ended up in the first order. I reordered my Sunday Riley Good Genes All-in-One AHA lactic acid, which I shared with you I use as a serum. At night after I finish my cleansing routine, I've taken all my makeup off and all of that, and I finish with a toner. Sometimes I don't use a toner, but when I do, I finish that off with a toner, and then I do an essence on my skin, and then I do some kind of serum followed by a heavy moisturizer for the night, and then all of my lip treatments and all that. This Good Genes has really made a significant difference in the way that my skin looks. When I'm not using it, I feel a difference. When I am using it the next day, my skin is in really good shape. So I didn't use it last night. I used something else last night. Other skincare things, like in that category, I re-upped on Pharmacy Green Clean Makeup Removing Cleansing Balm, which was also, both of these were in my recommendations videos. Now, Ulta ran out, either is no longer selling or at least was sold out on the day that I looked, of my dear Donna Karan Cashmere Mist deodorant. This is that girl for me. I can't be without this right now. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. And I went to Ulta to order, and they had ran out. They were sold out, or you just couldn't add it to cart for whatever the reason was. So I ordered 3 of these from Sephora, 3 of these. There was one hair product. One is from Pureology. It's called the Color Fanatic Heat Protectant Leave-In Conditioner. I have been watching this guy called the Blowout Professor on YouTube, who has influenced the way that I do my hair. I think I have a pretty decent hair routine. I admit I probably overuse products. No problem, I get it. I am that person that applies too much product. I'm also that person that has been guilty of shampooing my entire hair. You're not really supposed to do that. The ideal thing, I mean, you can do whatever you want, y'all. Like I always say, the moon's not gonna fall from the sky if you do things differently, but theoretically, you're really only supposed to wash your roots, you know? I mean, you're gonna get shampoo elsewhere naturally, but the idea is to really wash your scalp in the root area, apply your shampoo inside of that part and scrub that down really well, and do that twice. I have been guilty of doing it only once, but you really should do it twice. And then with conditioner, I am bad, and sometimes I'll put conditioner all over my hair, and that tends to weigh down the top part of your hair. You're really ideally only supposed to put conditioner about halfway down, and then leave a conditioner, do a leave-in conditioner afterward. Like when you step out of the shower and dry your hair, you know, towel dry a little bit. Don't ruffle your hair with a towel, you all, but just kind of press out the excess water. And, you know, before you go and begin to style your hair, you do a leave-in conditioner. That's his big piece of advice. And he recommended this particular product. It's like an all-in-one. And so I added that to cart. We'll see how that works out. The other 3 things are fragrance. One is the new Florist from Ellis, Brooklyn, which is in this beautiful pink bottle. I ended up purchasing a travel spray because when I looked at the reviews, everyone's like, oh, this is just another generic floral. I love a good generic floral. I have so many florals. I want to be a little bit careful about what I bring into the collection. So I want to test this one out. And summer's approaching and we'll be doing a little bit more like weekend trips and some travel during the summer. So it's time to think about the travel spray situation. Now, I'm of two minds. I've gone through these moods where I'm like, I don't want any more travel fragrance travel sprays, because I rarely get to them. That was really during COVID. I am hoping that we'll be traveling a little bit more, even though I'm a homebody, or I think we'll be traveling a little bit more, and thought I would at least try out this travel spray. And then I got two more in a second order that I'm about to place. But the other two fragrances that I have in my on the way, Good Girl Blush from Carolina Herrera, which I also recommended in the video, and Kayali's Yum Pistachio Gelato 33, which I didn't expect to like, but I fell in love with when I tested it in store. It lasted long on me and was sweet and fluffy and just was great for like a summer light floral gourmand type of a fragrance. And I'm excited, but I was good, and I only purchased the 1.7 ounce of both. Initially, I added the large ones because I'm like in that old mindset, like it's a better value for your dollar. Yes, it is. Yes. However, noting the fragrances that I have and the number of them, it doesn't even matter because I'm not going to get through it. And that's not the goal. The goal is not for me to finish all my fragrances, but to get good use out of them. And if not, pass them along. Another story, another video altogether, all that philosophy. So those are on the way. And then I added as my 2 free items, I want to try Rosie Jane Layla Lou, and then also Jo Malone English Pear and Freesia, which I have tried before in store, but don't remember what that smells like at all. So then let's talk about what's in the second order. And then I also want to chat with you about the things that I would get if I didn't have this ridiculous makeup and fragrance collection. Like what else would I add to cart? You know, if I just had infinite space and if things didn't expire and all of those fun things. So in my cart right now, I added a million things to my cart and then had to like really be a little bit more disciplined, and for the reasons that I just stated, and kind of rein it back in and go, no. What of this do you really actually want? You don't need any of this, but what do you really want and don't already have something like it of in your collection? So this first one, I do have things like this, but I do want to try it, and there are 3 fragrances from Net. I finally figured out how to say it. There was someone that left a note, a pronunciation note in that other video that I did with this. Net, N-E-T-T-E. I have 2 travel sprays in my cart. One is the Coco Fleur, which is how it sounds. It's a floral coconut fragrance. When I tested it, it didn't have the greatest longevity, so we'll see with the travel spray. That's why I'm going easy into the travel spray. I also have Thé Vanille, which I really enjoyed. That was like a second choice from the Discovery set that I tried from Net. And then I have a full bottle of Rose Parade, which I really enjoyed the sampling experience. I thought it was one of the prettiest rose fragrances that I had come across in a long time. And then you all might remember from previous videos that I said that I lost a Huda concealer. Like it just disappeared in my bathroom somewhere. It went down some rabbit hole. It got accidentally thrown away. It's behind a counter. I don't really know where the heck it is. I have one in the color cookie something or other, cookie butter maybe, but the one that I lost was in the color 4.5 granola. It's a golden color, 4.5 golden granola. It's the same color that Huda uses, and when I am freshly tanned like today, I have more of Huda's skin tone than I do normally, which is leaning more on the pale cooler side. So that's in the cart for me. And I ordered one. I'm going to order one essence. It's from Shiseido. I'm going to try that out. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Eutamine activating refillable essence with hyaluronic acid and vitamin C. If you have used this, let me know your thoughts on this. I'm going to try that out. It's stupid expensive, but I'm in the mood to splurge a little bit. Finally, and we'll talk more about this, I really want to support Danessa Myricks as a brand. I'll share why in the next segment of this video, but I put in my cart the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder in the color 4, which is for medium skin tones. I would have to use it again on days like today and not when I started to fade in color which then I'm probably into the 3 category, maybe even the 2. But so I'm going for it because the 3 was sold out. The shade 3 was sold out, so I'm going for the 4. So that's my second order. I don't know what I'm going to choose as my 2 little rewards there, so we'll see. Now let's do makeup, and let's talk about what I would put in my cart if I had absolutely no sense and didn't have to worry about storing things and had like infinite space. The main issue here is space, and that I'll never use this stuff over a lifetime, so I'm gonna have to either toss it, which I would never like to do. I would prefer to give things away to people, so that's an option too. But the point is, I don't need the products that I'm about to talk about, but let's get into it. I have done my skincare, but I'm gonna go in with a primer. I recommended this one also, the Hygen Skin Glass Energizing and Hydrating Primer Serum. You need like 5 breaths to get that whole name out, from Natasha Denona, which is supposed to be like a luminizing primer. It looks like that. You see how like bright and glowy that is? Love this stuff. So Danessa Myricks, do you follow her are you on Instagram? If you're not, come on over to Instagram. I'm at Essential Veronica. I admit I don't post nearly as often as I would like to if I, didn't have a regular job that I totally love and takes up my energy as it should. I would post on Instagram more often, so I'm not very active there. I go through spurts, but anyway, it's a lot of fun to hang out there and talk and see other people's posts and all that. So I enjoy following Danessa Myricks so much on Instagram. She is one of the influencers on there that is so positive and full of like the right kind of creative energy that we all need in our lives. Ooh, wait, we gotta do a little bit of lip stuff. So this is the Tatcha Kisu lip mask while we're waiting, so that our lips are hydrating while we're getting ready. So, oh my God, I also talked about the Rare Beauty, whatever this is, the under eye skin enhancer. It's almost like a primer for your under eyes. Some people use this just as a concealer. I think I need a little bit more than that. But anyway, back to Danessa. Wow, how fun is it to follow her? Her makeup techniques are phenomenal. She is stunningly beautiful and just radiates like this amazing energy. I love all of the models that she chooses, such a variety of models, and it's super fun to see what she does with them, what kind of look she does. So I really wanted to support her brand and support her as a human. Really fantastic. Like, I think kind of an undersung makeup artist out there in makeup land. But you see how this Rare Beauty stuff just kind of luminizes. It doesn't fix your under eyes completely, but I feel like it makes it just a little bit brighter and not quite as like sullen and old looking. So for concealer, I'm going to use another product that I love, but I would not purchase during the Sephora sale. I have purchased it during the Sephora sale, but I won't again. The Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer, another long name, and I have mine in light medium 14, which as you see is like a wheat color. Okay, it's a little bit on the maybe darker end than someone of my skin tone should probably use, but I do not believe in using overly light concealer under your eyes. I like for something to be much closer to skin tone, especially at my age, where the texture under my eyes really makes a big difference in how I look during the day. So let's let that set a little bit. Danessa. Lovely. Love her reels. Her content's fabulous. I want to be Danessa when I grow up. And from her line that's available on Sephora, I haven't looked on her website to see what else she has. If you have, let me know. But I'm super interested, and I added to cart and then took back out, and I'm going to explain why. The Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Flushed Matte Color for Cheek and Lip. So these are supposed to be dual action. You can probably use it for eyeshadow as well, but to pat on the cheeks and use on your lips. And I've seen her use them on her Instagram, and they look amazing. And so I added several colors to my cart. I always love to do like a pinky color and then something that's more like the peachy coral direction. And then I took them back out because Mama has way too many blushes. Okay, I have a drawer full of blushes, and let me just show you. In addition to all the single blushes that I have and the blush palettes, because I have some of those like NARS blush palette, like these, okay, where you get all the colors you could ever dream of. On top of that, I have this, the Scott Barnes cheek palette, which I mean, this is all the color that a human can need. You know, it even gives you some highlightery shades to put over it. But between these, I have all the colors. I can mix them up or whatever that you could ever get. So I was strong this time on round 2 and took them out of cart. I'm not gonna promise y'all that I won't ever add them back into cart though. I'm gonna just use concealer as an eyeshadow primer rather today too. I haven't even plucked my eyebrows. I don't know, y'all. I'm busy. A lady's busy. I only have so much time and this makeup takes forever. The other things from her line that have really caught my eye. I looked at this in the last sale too and then decided against it because I have other palettes that have really bright eyeshadow. Her Lightworks Volume 4 Transcendence Palette, Illuminating Eye and Face Pigments. One, people complained about using the middle row here and that you have to put water in them and it's a little bit difficult. I want a little bit of concealer on my nose. It's a little tricky because if you pile up a lot of products on your nose, it will break up if you have oily skin like me. So I'm always like playing with fire when I add products onto my nose. But that palette, that eyeshadow palette is divine, and I would love to have it, but I don't truthfully need it. I have other colors like it, like in the Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette that do the job. So like, come on, how many do I need? Pause, I need to figure out my foundation situation. I'm between the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. I have mine in the color 9, which I think might be way too golden for me. I'm not quite sure. And then I also have the Morphe Filter Effect, which this is a great foundation. Soft Focus Foundation, medium to full coverage. This is in the color Tan 17. Let's try both, like on the cheek, and see what might work for today. So back to Danessa, I'd also like to try her Evolution Setting Powder. Again, this is just like, she's cool and I want to support her, and maybe 1,000 other products on her page. She doesn't have that many on the Sephora site. All right, so let's do the Morphe filter first. Let's just do a little tiny bit. So here's the Hourglass color in 9. Actually, now that I'm looking at it on my skin, it might be a little too light for me, but here's the tan in Tan 17 from Morphe. I think I'm gonna do something a little bit crazy, and I'm gonna take this one, the Hourglass one, and mix it with something that'll help it bronze up just a touch. So I have had this Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. This is from Drunk Elephant, and the idea, I think you can put this directly on your skin, but the idea for me is to mix this. Let me show you what's going on here. See how it has that like bronzy tint to it? To mix this, oh my God, like squirt it across. It's aggressive. It's like, you're gonna use me today, Veronica. I'm gonna mix it with the Hourglass foundation and see if we can get as close as possible to my current skin tone. So I'll mix that up, and I do have gotten into the habit of mixing it on the back of my hand to create warmth before I apply it to my face. Let me mix that a little bit better. Here's the color that it's looking like right now, but I feel like that's still a little yellow. I'm gonna try one more drop and see if that gets us to a better place with like a more accurate skin tone. Let's try that right now and see how that's gonna work out, I think. Oops, all on my lip. So, blushes. When I tell y'all I'm a foundation and bronzer junkie, after that comes lipstick and blushes. Maybe I am less of a junkie about eyeshadows. It used to be like my #1 product that I love the most. And I've kind of moved away from that because I got like my fill of eyeshadow palettes, if that makes sense. I bought all the eyeshadow palettes under the sun and realized I can't use all of these. And like I said before, I don't have the goal of like using up my makeup products. I want to get good use out of them. I want to get adequate use, and I want to get my money's worth. That doesn't mean that I have to hit pan on everything. I don't have that mentality. I think that in and of itself can be a little bit toxic. We talked about this, right? Like buying the products in the first place can be super toxic. Spending all that money on those products you're not going to use up can be toxic. But for me, it's also toxic to feel compelled, like you have to, obligated rather, to use up all your products to the last drop. We might differ on that, and that's okay. We can still be friends. So there is the Hourglass foundation. What do y'all think? I didn't work it straight into my hairline. I probably should do a little bit better job of that. But most of my hair is going to be like falling around my face anyway. Blush. Another thing I would love to add to my cart is the Armani Luminous Silk Glow Blushes. They're new. It's the new shiny thing. They come in beautiful colors. I am loving the color Ecstasy, the name alone. This is a cool baby pink. I usually go for warmer colors on the face, but sometimes it's nice to do a whole cool tone look, and this is beautiful, at least on the screen. And then I also love Offbeat, which is apricot. It's almost like an orangey color, orangey peachy color. I'm into it. These are $38. Even with the 20% off, $7.60 off, you're still over $30 for each blush. So $60 for 2 blushes-ish. And I have all the blush I could ever need in the world. So these I'm gonna pass on. The same is true for the House Lab blushes. And I'm only passing because I have plenty of items like this, not because there's anything wrong with these. These are great. But the House Labs Color Fused Talc-Free Powder Blush with Fermented Arnica. So, we'll talk about Arnica another time. But this has a nice little range of colors here. Dragon Fruit Days in this hot pink sounds so interesting to me, as well as Watermelon Bliss. That's a nice like hot pinky color, maybe a little bit warmer. Well, not maybe, it's a lot warmer than that. Fruit Days, whatever, Dragon Fruit Days. And then Pomelo Peach is pretty too, soft coral. So this is $38 too. I'm really tempted, but I am gonna say no, I'm gonna hold strong and not fill the cart with blushes. While I'm here talking about foundations, let me say that the Terracotta Latte Healthy Glow Foundation from Guerlain really caught my eye. I'm gonna powder while we're talking about foundation and powder with the Huda Beauty Banana Bread. I have Pound Cake also. So Banana Bread is slightly darker than Pound Cake. This is a finely milled powder, but it has also some weight to it, which I like if you want something a little bit heavier to hold back your oil or hide your oil for a little bit longer than a typical powder. Also love that it has like a built-in net, so you can literally just do one of these numbers. You see the powder's already coming up on it. And let me tap off, and I'm gonna just lightly stamp in a little bit of powder around the perimeter of my face and not get too crazy about it. But that Terracotta foundation looks great, and the colors, I would probably get like 4 warm, medium skin with golden undertones, and then if I was really splurging, I would probably also get 2.5 light skin with neutral beige undertones and see how those played out for me. That's one I'd probably love to test in store so I could get a better sense of the color scheme, the color range, rather than experimenting with ordering online. Did I take the foundation down my neck? I don't know if I did. Let's do that now. So that's really the only foundation that has caught my eye. The other foundation that I would get a different color of, I already have it, is the Valentino one. So it's the Very Valentino 24-hour long wear liquid foundation. Love that stuff. The packaging's really pretty. I think the color that I purchased that in is a little bit lighter, like for lighter days, but I would love to have something like MN4. I don't remember what I have. Medium skin with beige or neutral undertones, or maybe the one for peach undertones, or I don't know, something for golden undertones. But that foundation is fantastic, so I would love to add that to cart. Don't need it, so trying to keep my life together, y'all. I think I'm just gonna be bold and use a little bit of this for under eye, like maybe right there, not deep into like the creasy area up there, but right underneath. Look how, this is what happens. For those of you who wonder what happens to your eyes as you get older, you see how I'm pressing the brush and how thin the skin appears and how it takes a while to bounce back. If you're older than me and your skin is even thinner, you're probably like, girl, I wish I had your under eyes. But if you're younger than me, this is what happens to your eyes as you age, okay? It's all relative, and all are welcome here. Whether you're in your 20s or in your 70s or 80s or even older, you are loved here. Mwah. Hang with me, we're all friends here. I'm a little crazy. This is why I need to not add to cart. I need to really survey my collection. This is the Berry Valentino, and I already have MN4. This is what I have. I just said, oh, I'd like to have it in MN. I have MN4. So what I really would like is something a little bit lighter, because as you can see, this is like the current tone, maybe a little bit deeper than what I'm looking like now. I talked about the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear. I'd love to get more colors. I have 2 colors of this. I can't see what the color is now because I don't have my glasses on, but I have like a little bit of a lighter one, a little bit more golden one. I don't think Sephora sells this anymore, but if they do, the Guerlain Lingerie Depot, or if you can get this somewhere like at a Guerlain store or at Ulta, this is a fantastic foundation. And I would definitely get additional colors of the YSL All Hours foundation also. So then in terms of other powders I would add, I'm about to do bronzer, which is why you see me with this big bronzer brush. I would love to have the Givenchy Prism powder. I don't think that's the full name, but I'll pop it up here. Everyone raves about this stuff, everyone. And so I have that like FOMO thing, but I'm gonna hang on and I'm not gonna get it because I have probably 7 or 8 or 9 powders that I'm still working my way through that are fantastic, like the one that I just talked about. So like, hold your horses, Veronica. There will be another sale in the fall. God willing, you'll still be on this planet and still shopping the dang Sephora sale, so you can buy it at that time. It'll be all right. We're gonna talk about bronzer next, and I'm gonna go on, speaking of good old Scott, and use the Sculpting and Contour #1 palette. He has repackaged this. I think the new palette is a little bit prettier, but it gives you all tones of bronzer and or contour if you'd like it. You know, theoretically, using the cool tones like this, this for contouring, and maybe using the warmer tones for bronzer. I'm gonna just kind of mix it up because I don't really care. I'm probably going to go into this like combined Snatched with some of the other colors. Maybe do a little tiny bit of this really deep color, like doop, right in there to carve out my cheek line just a tiny bit, and maybe the jawline also. This happens on camera where all that stuff is starting to go on, so I want it to be a little bit snatched. I haven't used these bronzers and contour shades in a very long time, so I'm a little bit intimidated because I remember that they're really strong. See, that's just super tapping it on very lightly, and there's a lot of color there already. So I'm just gonna stamp in a little bit just to make sure I'm distributing the powder around my face and not concentrating it in one place. I'm okay with being messy with this. If you follow really great makeup artists, they're not messy at all with this part of things. They're very deliberate in where they deposit color. But Veronica's not a makeup artist, and I am okay with it looking a little bit messy. I'm gonna blend this whole thing out in just a second here. So in terms of what I would want in this category, the skin fetish, this is Pat. Auntie Pat, Mama Pat, Mother Pat, Mother Pat, that's what she's called. Pat McGrath. The Skin Fetish Divine Powder Bronzer. The stamping on this alone is enough to like draw my eyes in. And I don't have any problem with my Pat McGrath products. For the most part, they're pretty fantastic. I don't have complaints. The lipsticks are great. The cheek products that I have are great. The highlighters are great. The eyeshadow palettes are phenomenal. You know, she delivers quality stuff. So I really looked at this. This was another thing that was in my cart, and I was looking at the color Bronze Nirvana. It's a warm tanned bronze. Beautiful, beautiful. It looks like the next color up is a little bit on the red side, so that would not be me. But so pretty. That would be one. I didn't have any interest in the iconic London Kissed by the Sun multi-use blush and bronzer. It looks cute in the packaging, but I just don't know that that's for me. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more warming with this one here, which is Chiseled. It's a little more close to my skin tone, and then I might do, like I said, a little bit of cutting in. I know that this looks a little dirty right now, but it kind of all comes together under big lights. When big lights, that sounded like I'm some Hollywood star. I'm gonna put on the big lights. The ring light, y'all, the ring light that I am about to go under. So let me do just a little bit of additional lighter color bronzing up there. I'm also going to do blush, so I don't want to take it too high up. I'm going to take that darker, deeper Sculpt and try to do exactly that, Sculpt. That goes on really, really dark for my skin tone, but let me see if I can blend this in to create the illusion of a shadow. I'm sure one of you out there is a makeup artist and is going to say, your cheek is too gray, and you're right. I'll work it out, don't worry. Okay, when you turn your head to the side, under your ring light, theoretically that'll just look like a shadow instead of like all of that chunky skin right there. Nothing wrong with chunky skin, in case somebody's gonna go, embrace your chunky. I got you. I'm not embracing. I'm not embracing. Just gonna do a little tiny bit down the sides of the nose here, and I'm gonna go a little bit lighter in color for that. There's a color called Carve up here in the corner. Let's see how that works out for creating a tiny bit of shadow without getting too crazy on the nose. The other thing I'm going to go ahead and do is, while I'm here, take this color up here, this chisel color, and run it through my shadow area as like a base, if you will, for base background color for the rest of the shadow. Other items that I'm interested in, there's the Makeup Forever HD Skin Cream Contour and Highlight Sculpting Palette. Here's the thing though, I know dang well I'm not going to use that thing. It's appealing looking, but I'm not going to use it. So, but everyone's been raving about it, and I love that it has a lot of colors all in one. For eyeshadow, I think I'm going to keep today simple, famous last words, and use the Glam palette from Natasha Denona. Great palette that has majority cool tone, but a little bit leaning neutral and warm tones over in this area, this little quadrant over here. Everything else is pretty cool tone. I'm drawn to this shade for today. I may deepen with that and this, and then I don't know what I'm going to do on my eyelids, so let's just play. In fact, let me start with the outer V. I usually start with the sort of zhuzhing in between, and I'm going to use, this says outer eyelid. I love that she has all of that on the palette for us, like, hey dum-dums, here's where you put this and that. So let me follow her advice and do the, no. By the way, the BK brushes, synthetic brushes, these are really good, but get them on sale. Wait till she has her sale. If you don't know who makes BK brushes, the woman's name is Lisa J. Oh my God, I had a little brain fart and nearly forgot her name. So I just want to stamp on a dark color out here in the outer V. But she created these brushes, and then Angie, hot and flashy. I love Angie. She has a set of brushes with BK Beauty also as a collaboration. I haven't gotten Angie's brushes, but I just got the basic set, and I really love it. I love it. These are really great synthetic brushes. How do you all feel about music on videos? Does it bother you? Sometimes it bothers me. If I click into someone's video, it depends on the music and it depends how loud it is. I'm asking because I have made a lot of mistakes in the past with music on my videos, and people have gotten really irritated and annoyed. I know some people will go, do whatever you want. But look, the fact of the matter is, if people are, a lot of people, I'm not talking about like the one-off person, I'm talking about if a good number of people are just irritated by your music, you know, like you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Why would you want to have lots of people not enjoy your videos? So how do you feel about it? I'm okay with music if it's super soft and if it's doesn't have like a lot of beats and words to it. Like what I'm playing here, I think is lovely. And then in some videos I just click right out because the music is so distracting. I'm already like the kind of person that's like, I think I have like undiagnosed ADHD or something, where I'm naturally like already really distracted and don't need anything else to distract me. So that's the outer color. I then am drawn to this blend color, that's what it's called, blend, that I want to run through the entire crease. I have to say, with the eyeshadow category on Sephora, I haven't been interested in any other eyeshadows with the exception of that Danessa Myricks. There's a Dominique Cosmetics eyeshadow that I looked at and had in cart and then took out, and I was like, I don't need that. I have that color scheme 10 times over in my collection. I'm digging it. I'm digging this look. I'm digging the softness of this. How do we feel about Mario? By Mario as a brand. It's actually called, Makeup by Mario. His eyeshadow palette's sold out, the most recent one, and has not been back in stock. It's gone, y'all. I don't know if he's selling it on his own website, or you can buy it on Mercari from somebody who wants to charge you a gazillion trillion dollars for it. I ain't doing it. I wanted to get the original, and I would have gotten it in this sale or thought about it because that is one that I like. I want to deepen, here we go, not leaving well enough alone. You know how I am. I want to deepen the outer V for camera purposes. So I'm gonna actually take a little bit of this gray, this lash line, and just stamp it in ever so gently to continue to deepen up the shadow out there. I'm acting like I'm on the outer rings of Saturn somewhere. This is not a blending brush, but I'm like forcing it to do some blending, which is kind of dumb. I think that's kind of it for the whole Sephora conversation. I'm actually going to close my computer so I'm not tempted to dig for more stuff and just talk with y'all about the rest. I am on this skincare kick, as you know, and would love to try like all the serums in the world, all the serums, but I'm trying to be good. So I looked at the Lancome like Genifique something or other serum. I opted for the Shiseido one only because the Lancome one said that it was exfoliating. I have other ways to exfoliate and just didn't want to do the most, you know. And I also have a very soft retinol cream that I can't, let me see. Yeah, I just got it for you all. The La Roche-Posay Retinol Serum B3. Pure and gradual release retinol with vitamin B3 that I want to start incorporating into my skincare routine. I saw this woman at a conference who had the most exquisite skin, and y'all, when I tell y'all, she didn't have makeup on. None. She just, well, maybe she had a little bit of foundation, but it wasn't a lot. Whatever she was wearing was not a lot. I can tell when people are wearing a lot of makeup, even if they wanted to look like they didn't have a lot of makeup on. I just know these things. But she was so beautiful. We had a great conversation. And I was like, you know, if you don't mind me asking, what is your skincare? And she pointed to this as her secret, this La Roche-Posay Retinol Serum. So that's what it looks like if you're interested. Pardon my, everybody says that, pardon my nails. Nobody cares about anybody's nails, but the Retinol Serum, gradual release. I'm going to use this little itty tiny brush for the brush snob that I am. This came off of Amazon to do my lash line. That's what I'm going to use it for. Actually, maybe I need a different brush. Yes, I'm going to use an even tinier brush, same set. And I'm going to go into that lash line color again. And let's hope this doesn't come all the way down my face after I've done all this makeup. So all the serums, all the essences I want to try. Have any of you, grammatically correct, has anyone out there, have any of you tried that SK, is that what it's called? SK2? The serum that everybody's raving about and that's super duper highly priced? Just curious if you've tried it, and if so, have you had any results that you can speak of? If you haven't tried it, that's okay. One thing I don't want to do is like poo-poo on people because they spend a lot of money on products. So I hope that my audience understands that, and I know that you all will be respectful of each other's product choices and not beat up on people for buying expensive or inexpensive products. People can make decisions on what they want to buy. How am I putting this on, you guys, and forgot to do the eyelid color? It's gonna be one of those days. It's almost 4 o'clock, as you can see. All right, now I gotta backtrack and do an eyelid color. Okay, what do we want to do for eyelids? I think I want to do this color. It says center eyelid. I'm just going to go with that and do that with, do I want to do that with a brush? Let me try it with a brush and let's wet the brush and see what we get. Here's the color. Let me pack it on a little bit more. Center eyelid. I'm going to spray it with my all-nighter setting spray. I used to always be like, oh my God, they're going to spray their brush when I watched YouTubers. So here they go like this. Remember Laura Lee and all of them? Here I am doing it. Okay, I can live with this color. I'm probably overworking this. Okay, I think that's what we're going with for the eye look. I do want to do a little bit of color under the eye, or do I? Do I just want to leave it like that? It's certainly brightening to do it like that. Let's do something under the eye. Let's go for it. I'm taking over the little bit of leftover lash line and carving out some space under the eye for this look. I'm taking this color Smoke and going to put it under the lash line. I find that eyeshadow under the lash line just gives it a sultrier look. Certainly not putting anything under the eye gives you a younger, brighter look. So I guess it just depends what you're going for. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Although people say to leave your eyelashes alone after you put on your mascara, I'm gonna disagree. I actually used a combo of the Pat McGrath Dark Star and the Monsieur Big from Lancome. I put the wet one on first, which is the Lancome, and then the dry one, the Pat McGrath, to give it some lift. And right before they get super dry, when they're still a slightly bit tacky, not completely wet, like they're nearly dry, you want to go back in with your eyelash curler and very carefully go to the base and gently press. You don't want to like smash. Gently press to give it a little bit of lift. You can also just use your fingers for this, by the way. Like get under and coach them to push up, and that helps give them some lift. So I'm not going to do fake lashes today because I like the way that these look. I was going to do fake lashes, but we're going to skip that. And I started to put a little bit of blush on. I'm also using Scott's palette, you know, Scott Barnes, and I'm combining this one here with that one. Minimalist and Strike a Rose. So this is a little bit rosier. It's not showing up, and I might combine a little bit of this. I kind of want to play in this color though, which is scary for people. So let's do the rosy color a little bit, and let's continue to layer that as a base. Ever so slightly up like that. Okay. I also always like to take a little bit of blush and run it through the eyebrow look. It gives it just a hint of the shade that you're using on your cheeks, and also helps to blend out any lines that are remaining. Now I'm gonna get a little bold and go in with this color that's called Mango Fizz, which people would typically be scared about. Look at that color. In fact, let me tap off a little bit because Scott does not play with the intensity of his powders. And let's see what happens if I just layer that over just a little bit. What do you all think? Do you think that that like washed things away or added some depth to that? I'm going to continue to layer a little bit. I like the brightness that that gives the cheek. I don't know, it just does something really youthful to the look, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. See, I have that rose color here. Remember those blushes I showed y'all earlier in the video? There you go. They're right there. I mean, like, I don't need, I want, but I don't need that Armani, whatever that was, that color, that really bright pink color, and that House Labs Dragon Fruit Days or whatever it's called. I'm gonna do a little bit of sweet cheeks because while we're doing the most, we might as well do the most. Boom. Love that. Now there's this draping technique where you also do all of this and all of that and whatever, y'all. I'm digging it. All right, let's figure out what we're doing with the Zio lips and then get this show on the road. So I have used the lip liner from Huda Beauty, the lip contour that I talked about in my Sephora video. This is in warm brown. I always overline my lips. There's an easier way to do this. I just go about it the hard way. So you can see that my lips look bigger than what they were before. And then I have very uneven, jagged lines. There's two ways to deal with that. You can stop the lip liner sooner and kind of do like a little round look and not even like line the outer parts. Or you can just use your fingers to smudge inward. Just make sure you wipe them off before you finish your smudging. You can use a brush for this too. And that helps to sort of blur out those little corners. And I'm sure there are other super cool makeup techniques like don't have the problem in the first place, but that's not how we do things here in this house. Here we create the problems and then fix them later. How about you? Do you do that in your makeup routine? There you go. So let's figure out the color. I'm kind of liking this bright color and I might riff off of this and do like a orangey red lip. Let's see. Let's try, I talked about the Gucci lipsticks. And I have a Lancome one. This is I ain't even gonna try it. But how pretty are these components? And you pop it out like that. That's a really beautiful color. If you're into lipsticks, this is a beautiful one to get in the Sephora sale. Any color. But that's what that color looks like, which is maybe a little bluer than I'm going for. So we're gonna put that one away. And this is the one I think I wanna use, which is Rouge Matte. And this is in Goldy Red. Look at this. Look at it. Let me just make sure it's actually as, well, maybe not even that. Oh my God, I have like 8 or 9 or 10 or something red lipsticks, and they all gave me the same blue red tone. This is the tone that I'm looking for, and it's the color 102 Madly in Love from the L'Oreal lipstick line. Good old L'Oreal. Or maybe it's Maybelline. No, it's not. It's L'Oreal. Let's see how this works. Yeah, that's kind of the tone that I'm going for. Or am I? Should I done? Maybe I should have done the blue tone one, and I'm a little crazy. That's what I'm going for, that look, I think. Maybe not quite as orangey, but definitely not as blue as these. So I'm gonna roll with this. I think this is where we are landing. I'm wishing that I had one of those little wands or whatever. It's like a, I mean, I guess you can do this with any kind of, let's try it. I was gonna say, make these little grays blend in a little bit more. Those like contraptions, not contraptions, you guys. Those like color things that help your grays blend in a little bit. I don't mind my grays, but I think on camera it just looks like a little bit like a white patch versus like, oh, she's got gray hair, which I don't mind gray hair. Gray hair is, hey y'all, those are the stripes that we earn as we age, even though I color my hair. So I'm full of crap. But yeah, I think this is it. Oh my gosh, this was a long video. Did you enjoy it? Do you like these kind of like rambly videos? Get ready with me. Let's talk about random products here and there. Curious to hear your thoughts, and also curious to know, did you shop the Sephora sale? It's, I hope, still going on by the time that I post this video. Curious to know if you actually purchased anything or if you just bypassed the sale altogether. And if you did, I don't blame you. That's totally fine. Some of us are junkies for the Sephora sale, and some of us are like, I can get discounts elsewhere, and it's fine either way. But just curious. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this get ready with me product conversation, and I will see y'all in the next video. Friends, take care, be blessed, love you guys.